Hi, welcome to our virtual paper presentation. I'm Joe Cleary, Assistant Professor of Construction Management at Cal Poly.
And I am Greg Starzyk, Professor in the Construction Management Department at Cal Poly.
Our presentation is over our paper, a case study, Constructivist Learning Following an Interdisciplinary Studio for an NGO.
This began with a tragic wildfire in the village of Weed, located in Northern California. A local, non-governmental, nonprofit organization reached out to Cal Poly for resiliency advice and help in rebuilding. In time, there came to be an interdisciplinary competition to design housing for a new small subdivision.
This case study follows the senior project of 3 construction management students at Cal Poly as they plan prefabricated wall panels, build the panels, and ship them to Weed, California for construction on site. These students, all from the same discipline with similar preparation, but in no formal cohort. Following the senior project, these students were asked for their reflection on the project and on their learning outcomes. The students all expressed similar outcomes in their reflections. They all acknowledged the hard work. They all expressed an appreciation for experienced tradespeople. They expressed an expectation of improved planning skill in their future profession based on their experience in this project. In addition, they expressed anticipation for improved career outcomes because they were developing these learning experiences through this project. When reviewing the student reflections, we documented 4 variants of constructivist learning: experiential learning, discovery learning, problem-based learning, and spiral learning. Within those variants, in experiential learning, the students highlighted working alongside professionals as a unique learning experience, and learning in the classroom had to be relearned in the field. Through this process, the students were able to learn and recognize the difference between working with their peers, right, and working with trained professionals in the manner in which the work was performed. They also noted, as far as relearning classroom information in the field, that even though many of the techniques have been talked about in the classroom and previously, until they had an opportunity to experience those techniques or go through those processes, the learning didn't really stick. In discovery learning, we were able to document 8 instances in analyzing the student reflections. Students noted that construction work is physically demanding. They noted empathy, communication, or cooperation with one's demeanor and the tradespeople is important. Planning is necessary for successful execution. This was easily documented as the students understood that if they didn't have a plan, their plan was to fail. Which leads to the next point: backup plan and a backup to the backup plan was needed. Many times, their initial plan didn't work. Not necessarily due to lack of planning, but maybe lack of experience. There's no substitute for time and experience in the industry. They noted that experienced workers are more productive, accurate, and quicker than novice workers. And finally, more workers did not necessarily equate to higher productivity. A well thought out plan and an appropriate crew size was most productive. As far as problem-based learning, they were able to develop learning outcomes available to reinforce their classroom-based learning by applying it to an actual project. Variants of constructivist learning in terms of spiral learning. So the students documented that their individual learning was enhanced through teamwork. So where they may lack another team member, a member of their crew, may be able to pick them up or help them out or give them some assistance. And what they noticed is they learned and remembered quicker when following their teammate. As a team, the three of them were stronger than the three of them as individuals. This case study yielded three conclusions: that we were able to document constructivist learning through the project. It was certainly a rich learning environment, and unfortunately, the learning was obtained by only 3 students. In addition to the conclusions, we acknowledge that there are several challenges that faculty would face in planning for a constructivist learning environment such as this. They include things such as training, preparation, and resourcing. In order for students to do carpentry work, they must become carpenters. Carpenter training is going to be necessary. Typically, carpenter training is done by carpenters, ideally journeymen and foremen, carpenter trainers, and faculty in most construction management programs are not carpenters, and if they are not already, it's very difficult to become a carpenter, especially in a short amount of time. And without that faculty preparation, it's difficult to train students in a necessary manner to perform a project like this. In addition, you need a suitable project, a project that typically is going to be ready to go, already designed, already permit, already have the money in place, and just waiting for a group of students that are going to build. Of course, that's a very difficult mix to find. And finally, resources are required. So in addition to the training factor, in addition to having a project that's ready to go, shovel ready, so to speak, you're also going to need resources. Resources, as we're aware, are difficult to find. You're going to have trainers. You're going to have materials, donors, shop space, tools, equipment. You're going to have to manage the risk, the safety factor, and coordinate with the other vendors in terms of a crane vendor getting the panels, in this, for example, in this project, into the open-topped container, as well as getting the container loaded on a semi and getting it shipped. And so any of those resources that are going to be unmet are going to be insurmountable. And so it's going to prevent a project like this from happening on campus and prevent these learning opportunities. In addition, so our suggestions for future research would be to quantify the effectiveness of each of the construction variants, right? Disaggregate the learning opportunities into smaller constructs and incorporate potentials into traditional classes or integrated labs. So essentially what we would like to do is find a way that we can add these constructivist learning variants to typical classes as an opportunity, like in our case study, to build the prefabricated walls, plan them, build them, and ship them, is not something that's going to be replicatable across the country or across courses or even quarter to quarter. So hopefully we can look to the future and learn some new lessons. Thank you for watching our presentation. Please let us know if you have any questions. Our email can be found in the comments.
We look forward to hearing from you.